Hello YouTube, it's your friendly neighborhood bedroom programmer. We're going to learn today about operators. So, if you have your code block screen, we will not be following on from the last lesson. Go here, create a console application, hit go. You'll choose the language C++. We'll call this math. If you were to go and find this file under this directory, if you double clicked on this, it would open up your whole thing that you're about to see now. Hit finish and go here to sources. It automatically gives you a main.cpp. And look, this looks awful familiar, doesn't it? We'll get rid of that. Well, we will get rid of all, but actually what we will do is we will get rid of these guys. Now we have a nice, fresh, clean main function to work from. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by declaring some variables. We're going to declare some ints. X, int y, int z. Oh, almost forgot my semicolon. We're going to declare some floats. And we are going to declare a string and a character. Now, if ever you want to put a comment in your code, something that the compiler will, a note to yourself, something that the compiler will not know, or will not see while it's compiling the program, what you do is you either type a double slash, or if you want a multi-line comment, you type a slash, and that and convention usually dictates that each line you continue with another one, another asterisk, and then you close it with the reverse. So we will probably use comments later, but let's define our variables now, because if we were to try to use these variables right now, we would be able to use them. They would have really, really weird results. In fact, I will show you. Go back to cout, and we are going to do x. We will show the initial value of x, and then we'll do end line. Now, how we're going to assign these is fairly simple. We're going to say x equals, we'll say 30. Now, this is an operator. It is a bidirectional operator or binary operator. And what this is saying is take the value of x and put inside of it 30. We're going to make y equal to 40. What we are going to do is we're going to do some math. Z will be our variable that we are going to do our math into. So we'll say, if we wanted to say add x and y into z, what we would say is z is equal to x and y. And as you learned in math class, and I prefer to do this a lot to keep myself on the straight and narrow, is to close those in parentheses. You do not necessarily need to. Now this doesn't change the values of x or y. This only changes the value of z. So now, if we were to put that on the screen, we would say cout x, add a space because the computer doesn't do that by itself. Add a few spaces there for readability. And just for readability, always remember to use an end line. There is a special character that you can use, and I will illustrate that later. But sometimes I personally alternate between the two, using the two. Now, we have that. What if we wanted to add 30 to x? Well, you could write x equals x plus 30, because you always need a variable to store that in. But that's kind of clunky. So what we do is we take this and we delete everything there, and we say, oh, we say x plus equals 30. Now this itself, just like above, this is its own operator. So you can do the exact same thing with minus. So y minus equal. You could, and we will show that value as well. So because of this, we will just take that and copy it, paste that down there. And we will, you could also do that with division and multiplication. You can say, and this is completely valid, x, well, x is getting a little bit big. Let's give y a chance. So we'll go x divide equal to 10. And we'll say y, and here's where we can get a little bit tricky too. We'll go y times equal to z. Now what this is saying, this is taking this variable and substituting it in place of a number. That allows, or you are completely allowed to do that. Go here and copy and paste. Now then, let's play with our floats for a bit. I know I'm terribly imaginative, but let's do this. We'll do float e equals a plus b divided by c. Now the computer does its order of operations just like you learned in math class. So as far as this is concerned, E will be equal to B divided by C, or 4.1 divided by 5.6, plus A. And we'll show E now if we and the same thing with math class is if you go float, or sorry, we already did that. So E equals parentheses A plus B divided by C. Now, instead of that, just like you learned in math class, now we'll have 3.2 plus 4.1, which is 7.3, divided by 5.6. And you'll see the difference here. Now finally, we have two more variables that we haven't really messed with. We have our string, which is name. So we'll say name equals my name is Jake. Now, if we wanted to do that, or if we wanted to print that out, all we would need to do is say cout name and line. And what this will do is this will take my name is Jake. These two lines take my name is Jake, place it into name, and then cout, as you've seen before, takes name and puts it on the screen. The final one I want to talk about is character, which we call D. We'll call D. Now there are a lot of different characters that D can actually take the value of. Actually, I did that wrong. We will change that right now. But this is my personal favorite. This is the new line character. What this does is this does the exact same thing as this, but you can put it right inside a string if you wanted to. So what I could do is I could, right at the end of here, type /n. Now pay attention to that. We're going to do return 0, and we are going to go. Now, a lot of junk on my screen. See if I can resize this nicely. There we go. Now, I told you before, when we started this, So we started here. This is the first thing that printed out. And this is the initial value of x. Now we didn't assign an x to anything. And in later lessons I'll explain why this is. Now notice after we added x to y, which is 70, we didn't really touch it. We did play with the values of y, we didn't play with the value of z. We did play with the values of x and y. So we have here x, y, 30, 40, 70. That's their initial values. Now we have x plus equals 30. There you go. X equals 60. S minus equals 20. Minus 20. Now we have x divided by 10. So there we go. X is 6. We have y times equals to z, 1400. 70 times 20 is 1400. And I showed you how the order of operations is different. Now you notice how every time an end line is here, it doesn't leave a space. It just sets the line down to the next line. When I added this, oops, I goofed that up. When I change this, let me change this real quick. Actually, this will actually work. You have my name is Jake as a new line. Now, we just assigned D, we didn't actually put it in the program yet. Now you notice how there's one less space there. Now watch when I do this. See, there you go. We added another line saying my name is Jake, and that has a space as well. This actually has 2 spaces. All of this is valid code, and in the next video we are going to look at different ways to store data. I look forward to seeing you then.